Hi, my name is Isabelle, I'm 16 years old, and I'm from me. Today I'm talking to you to discuss the stigma around mental health and mental health difficulties in Ireland. To this day, it is said that around half the young people in Ireland suffer from mental health difficulty, such as depression, anxiety, OCD, psychosis, eating disorders, and many more. Because of these illnesses, young people are harming themselves and are afraid to seek support because of the lack of awareness around the topic of mental health. I know for a fact that I was never made aware of the fact that a young person could suffer with a mental health difficulty, and that's kind of why I'm talking to you guys today. I myself had a tough time growing up, and yet I always put my all into school, and I was a very social person throughout my primary school years, and I did well, I got good grades. And then, like all teenagers, I made the transition from primary school to secondary school, and it was exciting and it was nerve-wracking at the same time. But I did it and I thrived. I got mostly all A's, some B's, but mostly all A's, and I made a lot of friends. But when this was going on, my family dynamic was crumbling around me. I knew something was wrong with me, and I can only describe it as a feeling of emptiness. But I continued to be me and to kind of cover how I was feeling. I then moved into second year, and my mood became low because of all the pressure I was putting on myself to fit in, to be popular, to keep up my social media status, and to do well in school. And because of all this pressure, I would spend classes in the bathrooms having panic attacks, not knowing what was wrong with me, and I was criticizing my every move. To cope with all this pressure, I began to self-harm, and I began to distance myself from people who cared about me. That was probably the hardest thing for me at that time. I then started to get suicidal thoughts, and they seemed to be the only thoughts I could concentrate on. And yeah, I was afraid to ask anyone for help, and I was afraid to tell anyone how I was feeling because I didn't know that a young person could be going through this, and I was afraid of how people would view me. I then battled with this, whatever was going on with me, for a few months, and I eventually sought help, and my family didn't really know how to react or how to help, and to be honest, I didn't know how I wanted them to help. I just know that I wanted support, and to my surprise, because I genuinely thought that they would dismiss how I was feeling, they helped me and supported me every step of the way without hesitation. And that was so special, and that was an eye-opening experience for me. Without getting into too much detail, I struggled with my mental health for over 2.5 years, and during these years I self-harmed and I had suicide attempts, and I was hospitalised for months at a time, and it was a really tough time for me. But during this kind of experience, I learned positive coping mechanisms to replace my bad ones. Some of these would include maybe like listening to music or pushing myself to get out of the house, even just for a few minutes. Yeah, so that's what I did, and it's now gotten to a point where I can manage my illness and what I'm going through with the support of my family and my school and my friends. And I'm not gonna lie, during those few years I lost a lot of my friends, and it's absolutely heartbreaking, and I wouldn't wish that on anyone. But because of that, I realised how strong I really was and who my true friends really were. Due to my experience and all the support I got from it, I got support from my family and my friends and from people I didn't even know cared about me. And because of this, I found hope. Hope for the future. Hope that I had thought I'd lost years back. Hope that I could get better. And most importantly, I found hope that no matter how hard things became for me or for anyone, that you can and will get through it with the right help and support. But there is a reason why I am sitting here and I am telling my story, and it is to raise awareness of the fact that you could be struggling and you could feel like you're alone in your struggles, and that's completely okay. But what I'm encouraging you guys to do is to seek support, to really seek support. You are not alone in what you are going through. I know firsthand what it's like to be a teenager in 2018. The pressures to fit in and be popular, the pressures to get good grades, and the pressures to keep up your social media. I felt alone in all this. But what I'm trying to do is to share the fact that you're not alone. And if I feel like if I was aware of the fact that I could have asked for help, and if I was aware of what was actually going on for me, it mightn't have got to a point where I considered suicide as my only option. Through my hospital stays and through CAMS, which is Child and Adolescent Mental Health Services in Ireland, I've become aware of how mental illness affects people of all ages and all personalities. And I believe that every single person has a story, and that you can never truly know what is going on for someone. The person beside you could be suffering in silence and you wouldn't know. So my aim with talking to you guys is to promote kindness and to include the quiet kid, or have a conversation with someone you wouldn't normally, because you never know, your simple act of kindness could save a life. What I'm trying to do with this video is to promote that kindness and to highlight the fact that it's okay not to feel like yourself anymore and to feel like you're struggling. But what's also okay is to ask for help. There are so many people out there who need to seek support and need to ask for help, and I'm encouraging you to do it. It's a scary step, asking for help, but trust me, once you do that, things will become so much clearer for you. Because as the popular saying goes, a problem shared is a problem halved, and you will no longer have to suffer on your own. No matter how hard things become for you, I promise that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. I'm living proof, and I know that sometimes that tunnel might seem miles and miles long, but remember, it's okay not to feel okay, and it's absolutely okay to ask for help.